David, who knows that's what he saw as he swerved out of the way. David goes into the back of the SUV and grabs the jack and handle. He is pissed off. He wants to end this here and now. Glenn and Sherry are yelling for David to get in and let's go. David hollers back.
You guys need to get out of here. Go!
David and Sherry tell him,
We are not leaving without you. You don't need to do this.
David then replies,
That fucking creature is the reason Penelope is dead. Don't you get that? I'm not leaving until either it kills me or I kill it.
Sherry tries to talk sense into David.
You can barely walk on your own 2 feet. And what are you gonna do? Penelope wouldn't want you to die for her.
David tells Sherry,
It really doesn't matter what Penelope thinks because she's dead. I'm going to do this whether or not you approve of it, little sis. You guys should go. I'll be fine.
Sherry gets out of the truck.
No, I will not leave you here to die. If you want to stay and honor Penelope and get rid of this fucking thing, I will help you.
Glenn also gets out of the truck and shuts it off. He comes over to David and Sherry. He tells them both, If this is the way it goes down, it couldn't be with anyone else than with my family. I love you guys. All of them nod and huddle around each other. Glenn says, It would be my pleasure to kill this demon and put it back where it belongs. In hell! At this time, they hear rustling through the tree line with subtle growls from this animal. Glenn goes back into the man's truck and looks for anything he might find that will help subdue this thing. He opens the center console and finds a box of 9mm ammo and is surprised. Glenn then figures he might as well open up the glove box. Unsurprisingly, there's an Army-issue Smith & Wesson pistol. He calls over David and Sherry. You guys, I think we can take this son of a bitch down once and for all. Glenn empties the magazine and loads the clip. He cocks back the pistol and positions the safety to off. He puts the pistol behind his back and says, It's go time. All 3 of them head out into the open. Sherry looks in the back of the toolbox in the man's truck and finds an extended crowbar and tire iron. All of them now are equipped with weapons against this beast. David has a sharpened tip jack handle, Glenn has the 9mm pistol, and Sherry has 2 melee weapons. Sherry then gives Glenn the crowbar. Now it's time to go to battle. This will be the final act down this forsaken back road. The creature jumps out through the tree line on the roadway and roars, looking right at the 3 of them. The roar is so loud it causes all the animals around them to either run or fly away. The loudness in the roar causes the trio's ears to ring and pop. The beast circles them, gnashing its teeth and snarling, trying to get them to run off. The group stays in place, watching the creature, standing shoulder to shoulder, waiting for a moment to strike. The beast makes mock lunges to entice one of them to break rank. All of them reach up with their melee weapons and shout at the creature. Glenn strikes first by hitting the back leg of the beast. The creature roars in pain and starts bleeding. It turns around and swipes at David. David barely manages to make the animal miss its claws. David is still hurt badly, and he is doing his best to try and put up a brave show of courage. Although, courage or not, the shape he is in won't do him any favors. The beast senses that David is the weak one and lunges at him. David stands firm for now and tries to thrust his jack handle into the neck of the creature. However, David missteps and misses his mark. The creature lunges back around. It knocks Sherry into the SUV. She is knocked out. Glenn then runs to check on Sherry. He pulls up the pistol blocking Sherry from the beast. Glenn then shouts in a rage, I'm done with you. See you later, you fucking prick. Glenn fires the pistol at the creature. He hits it in mid-stride above the front paw and torso of the animal. It screams in pain and rears up before running off while whimpering before disappearing through the tree line. David drops the jack handle and collapses due to the immense amount of pain he is still enduring.
Glenn sees David
Oh,
fall
fuck!
and hurries to collect him into the Dodge Ram. He also checks on Sherry to see if she's okay.
Damn it! Sherry!
He is relieved to know she's just knocked out, but will be okay. Glenn picks her up and puts her in the back of the truck as well with her brother. He starts it up and begins to drive off. He puts the windows down and listens for anything having to do with the creature. He hears a faint echo through the tree line. Glenn knows it's injured and wants to finish the job once and for all. He drives about a half mile and sees a small clearing toward the south side of the roadway. He goes down into it and carefully creeps up to where he thinks he saw it last. Glenn gets out of the truck and he has the pistol in hand, walking carefully towards the whimpering. He gets closer to it and manages to spot it underneath a downed tree log lying down. The beast tries to pick itself up to confront Glenn, but it can't. Glenn points the pistol against its head and says,
Good night, motherfucker!
and he unloads the clip into the monster's head, blowing it into chunks with pieces of brain and blood splattering him from head to toe. The beast that had caused him and the group so much trauma in what was going to be a joyous night is over. Glenn eventually becomes overwhelmed by his actions, drops the pistol to the ground. He shouts out to the heavens and starts to cry, eventually getting sick by the grotesque image of this beast that lies motionless a few inches away. After a few minutes, Glenn notices a door open up and it's Sherry. She walks over to him, holding her head grimacing in pain. She falls to the ground to put her arms around him. Glenn doesn't realize she's even there yet. Sherry tells him,
Is it over? Is it dead?
Glenn snaps back to reality. He grabs Sherry's hand on his shoulder and tells her.
Yeah, but at what cost?
Sherry helps Glenn back up as they head back into the truck and she drives them off and into the hospital. Lots of questions will need to be answered, however this chapter of their lives will be over. The Backroad Horror Show is no more, but the images and events of tonight will go on to plague the group for many months and years to follow. The group will undergo questioning by the police and FBI as to the nature of what happened. They also will have to go through many sessions of therapy. Their personalities will never be the same. Glenn goes from being the fun-loving, adventure-seeker turns into a cold, withdrawn individual who stays at home. David being the reserved and affectionate one turns into a party animal who develops a drinking habit. Sherry also turns from being the girl next door to being temperamental and paranoid. David eventually has to be taken to rehab from not being able to cope with the death of Penelope despite having his sister to lean on. Sherry and Glenn contemplate divorce, but through many sessions of marriage counseling and therapy, they make it work. The three of them are heading home from a concert in Glenn's truck. They are laughing and carrying on like they used to. Glenn, who is driving, comes to a stop sign and turns right down a different kind of back road. Just like before, the road starts to become foggy about a few miles in. The atmosphere inside the truck grows tense and cold. Almost immediately, Glenn slams on the brakes. The three of them look at each other and they say,
Nope, this isn't
No,
going to happen
this isn't going
again.
to happen again.
Glenn turns around, and as the truck speeds off in the other direction, the foreground shows a squirrel on the side of the roadway just walking on the side before something snatches it up and blood is shown spilling onto the roadway. Everything goes silent before the same deafening roar is heard again.